Greetings, I'm Doc V, and let's talk a little bit about America, land of the free, home of the brave. Today I'm in my classroom and the students are not here right now. This is the last day of classes and then the students will be released for their summer break. I plan on doing a little traveling this summer, and on the way home yesterday, I was listening to the news station on my radio, and it stated that if you are African American and if you plan on visiting Florida or vacationing in Florida, you might want to reconsider that. What was stated was that Floridians are hostile against African Americans. I kind of ignored it and I said, oh, it's probably some kind of political thing going on. Let me just ignore that. So I talked to my sister about that, and I said, you might want to reconsider traveling to Florida. I know you like going to Florida for the summer, but something's going on down there. Let's kind of let that go for now. Then I got a text message from a friend that's been my friend for years. He happens to be white, European descent, and I'm black, but I call him friend. Our friendship was molded and solidified because of our history. Let me talk a little bit about that history. I'm sure he does not want me revealing who he is at this time, so I'll just call him Kaz. Me and Kaz were little kids in the same neighborhood. We were the fastest boys on the block. We would just race. Seemed like every weekend or every couple of days we'd be out in the middle of the street racing. No other boys could hang with us. It'd be me winning sometimes and him winning sometimes. We ran between 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 yards, and we were fast. Well, later on, went through middle school and went to high school, and I was a high school track star, and I went on to college. I was on college scholarship. Lost track of Kaz. I don't know what happened to him. I knew that was a fast somebody. Anyway, years later, I was on the track team and we had a meet in Indiana. So we got in the van and I was in the 4x1 relay, 110-meter high hurdles, and ran the open 200. And we went to this meet and we were sitting there. I just finished running one race, and then we were waiting for the next call for the heats for the next race. All of a sudden they said, okay, last call for the 200 meters, and they're getting ready to run the 200 meters. And I said, let me see what our competition is going to be here. So I was stretching, and I was in a good spot where I could see the track. So I'm watching, and the announcer says, runners, to your marks. Get set, boom. The runners took off around the curve, and they're flying around the curve, and all of a sudden I saw this young white man taking off from the back, turning around the curve at about a 45-degree angle, kicking up rocks. He was flying. And all of a sudden, I noticed the form. Beautiful running form, just running technique, just beautiful. Like poetry in motion. And I said, is that Kaz? All of a sudden, he pulled away, smoking everybody. Everybody's like, whoa, who was that? And then the announcer said it. Such and such Kaz, I don't want to say his name, first place, 200 meter. And they gave his time, which was an incredible time. And I said, that's Kaz. Some of my team members were like, come on, we got a race coming up, man, come on. And I was like, they were like, you okay? And I was like, that's Kaz. Make a long story short, I moved to Atlanta, established myself there, and I got a call from Kaz about some business, about some documentation, about what was going on with our track records that we set while we were in high school. I was at the public high school. He was at the private Catholic school. Anyway, we became reacquainted, and we began to talk about the racial issues going on in our country. We began to talk about political issues, and in a lot of areas we disagreed, and some areas we did agree, but we were able to communicate without making it a battle or without coming against each other personally. We were able to express our views and then step away and talk about sports, talk about track. Express our views and then step away. So, that being said, Kaz texts me and he's like, what is this going on where African Americans are not welcome in Florida, or there's some hostilities to black tourists in Florida? What's going on? And here we go again. I said, Kaz, you know it's different being a black man or African American in the United States than it is to be a white man in the United States. Kaz doesn't like to hear that. So Kaz, his argument was, well, listen, the rules and the laws are for everybody. The rules and the laws are to protect everyone, not just white folks, not just black people, but everybody. We have rules and we got laws in place. All this racial stuff and division is just because people don't take care of their business. They don't do what they need to be doing. They're breaking laws. Then they need to be punished for breaking the laws. If they don't prepare themselves to get particular jobs, then they don't need those particular jobs. I said, no. I said, no. My argument to you, Kaz, is that if just the legislative branch putting laws together and putting rules together and putting them in the books was enough, then why do we need policemen? Why do we need judges? And why do we need law enforcement authorities? Because some people do not like the laws that are put in place that state we are all one. We are all equal under the eyes of God, and we should be treated fairly. Some people do not like this rule. Kaz doesn't like to hear this. He likes to say that it's because people didn't handle their business and they're in the wrong place, they're where they shouldn't be, and they're running their mouth and they're doing things they shouldn't be doing, and that's why you're running into these problems. I said, no, Kaz. I said, no. I shared with him, I'm not sure I shared this with him or not, but let me share this with you. I went to Arizona, and to make a long story short, I was on the plane recalling what I went through at the airport when I arrived in Phoenix, Arizona. There were people treating me funny, looking at me funny. I couldn't figure out what was going on. And I was sitting next to a man, and he was sharing some things about Arizona, asking me what I was doing there, what was going on. And so I shared with him my experience at the airport, how people wouldn't help me. They wouldn't let me get on the shuttle to ride to the hotel accommodations. And I'm like, well, what's going on here? And he dropped his head down and he looked over at me in my seat, and he said, well, let me tell you something. He said, if you would have gotten too far away from the city lights, and if you would have been out too late at night, he said, you would not be sitting in this plane with me today. And I said, oh, really? He said, yes, really. This caught me off guard. In this country, we still have places that I cannot go. We have cities that I would love to visit that if I'm not careful, I might not come home from that visit just because of my race. This is a little bit troubling to me. This is a little bit upsetting to me, but it is something that I need to know if I'm going to survive in this land and in this community. Kaz, he's got a good heart, good brother. I call him brother because even though he's white, I'm black, I call him brother because we were formulated together. We came up in the same neighborhood. We were fast. We could relate. We could understand about competition and being the best that we could be at our particular or our specific assignments on the track. And this carried us into the point where we can talk. We can talk about a lot of different subjects, maybe not agree on everything, but we can talk. And when he gets this, he'll know I'm talking about him. and very few other people will know because I did not mention his name. I just call him Kaz. So he knows I'm talking about him, and my heart goes out to you, brother, because I believe you have a sincere heart. And you, like me, are trying to get to the bottom of this. So, will I go to Florida this summer? I don't know. The beaches are nice. The restaurants are nice. I hear it's a nice place to get away when you don't really feel like traveling overseas. If I do go, will I be careful? Will I watch where I go and how I conduct myself? Yes, I will. Because I've been living in this skin for a long time, and there is a difference. There are some things that the history books do not share. There's some things that have happened to our ancestors that you will not see in the school library. You will not see this. So why can't you just forget it? Why can't you just let it go? Why can't you just drop it behind you? Because history prepares us and protects us from mistakes that we might make in the future. History has always been used and utilized to help us plan for future outcomes. I can't change the world, I can't change society, but I can do my little part. I can do my part by obeying the laws, by fighting within the system and within the tools, within the weaponry that I am allotted. Sometimes we as a people can be done wrong and we want to fight. We want to take a baseball bat and we want to jump through the picture window and we want to get to swinging, but that is not the answer. Once we respond in this way, then we become a statistic. You become locked in jail. You become even dead because you responded to injustice in a way that it was expected for you to respond, and you were dealt with accordingly. We must fight, and we must fight using our brains. We must use wisdom, not so much our brawn. We must fight within the parameters that are set. Yes, the laws do protect us. Yes, the laws are set to give people an equal chance. But there are people, once again, who do not agree with the laws, who do not like the laws, and they will come against you. They will come against you in employment opportunities. They will come against you in housing opportunities. They will come against you in legal matters. So you must fight the fight. You must stay faithful to who you are. You must use your brain, and you must make decisions that will put you in a positive outcome. I'm going to continue this. I like living in the United States. I love America because even with the bad, along with the good, it's one of the best countries you can live in. Some of you are like, oh, it's terrible up here. I'm getting out of here. Well, then you go on to some of these third world countries. Why do you think people are crossing the border trying to get over here? Something's going on right. But if you do not handle your business correctly, if you do not handle your business properly, you could be tossed to the wayside. Your life could be in ruins. Let's be wise. Let's be strong. And let's be knowledgeable. I'm Doc V. Have a great summer, and I'll see you next time.